Hi, welcome to Laura's View and Tarot 2. I am so glad you're here. Today's date is Sunday, September 29th, 2024. Wanted to get this video out today because in the Southern Hemisphere, it's already tomorrow. So I want this to go out before October 1st happens anywhere. But first, now I want to share something with you. I have never been a prophetic dreamer up to now. I know that things change with the upgrades and healing energy that were being sent. So I wanted to share with you folks a very vivid dream I had last night. And just not saying that it's prophetic, but if it ends up that it is, this way again, I've said it before it happened, and I'm not saying, hey, I want you to believe me. I had a dream about that 2 weeks ago. Okay, so here was my dream. Our 45th president, Donald J. Trump, had 2 speaking engagements. I don't know that they were rallies, but they were for large crowds. It wasn't sit-down dinner type things. He was standing in front of groups. And the first one went a little long, so he showed up late to the second one. Midway through the second speech, he was given the information, and deep down it didn't surprise him that the Supreme Court had ruled for the Brunson brothers case, and things were changing in a big public way. So I don't know his schedule. I don't know when he has 2 speaking engagements in one day. It may be every day that he's got more than one. I don't know. But that was my dream, was that the Supreme Court made public their ruling on the Brunson brothers, and it happened. The announcement came out while he was mid-speech. So there. Again, making no claims to having any prophetic dream gifts, at all. Just sharing a vivid dream I had with you that I remembered in such detail that I thought, hey, I'm going to share it. Okay. And again, no claims about it, just sharing it now. So if it ends up happening, you know that I didn't make it up when I said I had a dream about that. Now, this is my peek ahead monthly video. We're going to be looking at the month of October. It's not a deep look because we only use 6 cards for this layout that I use. So I have learned as time goes on, one of the things we're going to be asking is to have to be told about things that can be observed. So, and I do think it's timely for that because I think we're getting to the point where actions happening in the background are kind of winding down, and we'll have more observable things. But again, if I tell you something might happen or I'm getting a nudge about something, I want it to be something that you can confirm, see, feel, know, that kind of thing. Okay, that not just take it on faith that something's happening in the background or underground or overground or whatever it might be. So we're going to be asking for some observable peeks ahead. And then we'll see what the universe readies us for the month of October 2024. The top row of my cards is going to be I'll use a deck for each row, is for the United States of America specifically. And then the bottom row is elsewhere, and we'll just see what the universe advises. And if I get any nudges of what geographic location that might be, or region, I'll share that with you. So, okay, this is for entertainment purposes only, not for planning for your future. And because October is supposed to be such a pivotal month, I've really tried to be prayerful about going into this video, just sharing that with you. I know last year there was all that talk about Red October, and really, at the end of the month, we didn't feel like there was any huge, big, earth-shaking, world-changing events that we were able to observe. So I don't want to set anybody up with super high expectations, but if the universe can give us advice on a readiness or a mindset, that would be really helpful, wouldn't it? So let's see what the universe wants us to know. I'm going to switch the camera. You can watch me work with the cards. I've already shuffled them some, but I'll do it more in front of you, as always, so you know that I am as surprised by what the universe shares with us as you are. Okay, 1 second while I change that camera over. Okay, this first row, which will be our top row, is for the United States of America specifically. Again, we're looking for insights and information about observable events that may occur, and with an eye to being advised on what mindfulness we should have, what readiness we should have as we prepare to go through the month of October 2024. Our first card, which will indicate what to expect, we have the Five of Pentacles. Second card, which clarifies that a little bit, is the King of Wands. Hidden influences this month for the United States is going to be the Seven of Pentacles. Advice for us is the Empress. And potential outcome if we heed that advice, Page of Swords. Now, I will be getting one more card at the end of it, which is always a keep your focus on. The bottom row will be for elsewhere, other geographic locations. I'm sorry, it's such a wide spread of land. Again, if I get some sort of nudge about a specific region to what we're hearing, I will share that with you. And the same topic, we're looking for insights and information, especially with an eye to mindfulness, to kind of have our intestinal fortitude ready for events in October. And we're asking about observable things that we should be aware of. Okay, our what to expect? Justice. That's a nice card to show up for what to expect. Clarifying that a little bit is the Queen of Wands. So our royalty and the Wands cards have both shown up in the clarifying for both geographic locations on our world. The hidden influences is the Four of Pentacles. Advice is going to be the Six of Pentacles. And outcome, Hermit. Okay, and again, I'll get a sixth card at the end of this read, and that'll be kind of keep your focus on. We have some interesting information being shared with us by the cards. Let's look at the United States first. Okay, the first card we've got is the Five of Pentacles, and for October, hate to say it, guys, but it's saying we're going to continue to feel some financial difficulties. And it may be in response on the East Coast to that longshoreman strike, which another reader that I really value said would last probably 5 days. But it's also just the fact that we're in very much inflationary times with the fiat dollar going through its death throes. Now, the King of Wands is telling us, that's clarifying it, that those who will be part of good changes for us are very aware of these struggles, have compassion for us about it, and really, once the shackles are off them and the constraints are off them, we'll have the we'll be able to affect some really nice changes for us. But in October, don't get extravagant with your spending. Be careful with your money. Don't think that tomorrow's the day that you're going to have a big windfall in your lap. Okay, be prudent with your money, and pay those bills, guys. I will never be one of those readers that say, don't honor your obligations. Now, I'm not talking about taxation things. I'm saying for goods and services that you have received. Okay, now, King of Wands, again, was our clarifier, telling us a little bit more about that. The hidden influence on all this is our money system, okay? It's we're getting a lot of financial nods here for the United States. They are ready to roll out a lot of change. Good, positive financial change, but they can't at this time yet. That's just the way it is. Now, our advice card is the Empress. Now, she's saying that it's actually a favorable time in October to move forward with your dreams. And I'm talking about dreams you have that may not be involved, the grand vacation, okay, or the cruise or whatever like that. But it is a time to start manifesting, just envisioning where you want our world to be, what you want, that month to look like, feel like, sound like. October in the United States should look like, fill in the blank. In a better world, October should sound like, fill in the blank. It's time to kind of move forward with your dreams. Okay, so that's kind of cool. She's saying, even though, think of the dreams you have that don't involve spending fiat dollars. Time to move forward on them. Okay, take that class, sketch that sketch, stand up for a candidate you believe in, whatever it might be. It's time to start doing your part to make dreams come true. If you do, we got the Page of Swords showing up here. So if you follow this advice, okay, your likely outcome is going to be that truth is going to be seen. Okay, that we're going to have some forward motion, some good results from it. So there's nothing negative to the outcome of following some of those dreams in October for the United States. But again, just saying it's going to be financially, a difficult month, but there's good that's in the offing. Okay, they just can't. They can't bring it forward at this time. As I said, just the death throes of the fiat system have not finished. That's just the way it is. Now let's look at elsewhere. As I'm starting this line of read, I'm not getting a nudge for any place in particular. If I am, I'm thinking more towards the UK, but that doesn't mean that that's where this is at because the Justice card shows up. Okay, what to expect? You're going to see some observable moves towards justice for righting wrongs, for lessening the power of those that shouldn't have it or misuse it when they do have it. And that's something that the rest of the world can anticipate, but especially I'm thinking in the UK type of region. The Queen of Wands is going to clarify this a little bit. Queen of Wands talks about accomplishment and just optimism. You're going to be the changes you start seeing, some of the moves that are being made, whether it's just simply, and one of these nudges I got, I'm sorry, I just bumped that, but so note that I didn't play with it while the screen was off. I bumped it with my hand just now. She's the Queen of Wands is clarifying that there's reason for optimism. Absolutely. So this is good. These changes you're going to see, and as I was started to say before I got thrown off by touching the deck, it may just simply be pursuing your and improving and increasing your knowledge of natural law or common law and learning how to stand your ground successfully, but do your homework. Okay. Now, the hidden influence that's going on here for the rest of the world, it's more money. Absolutely. Looks like funds are drying up for some of the shenanigans, which is good. We want that to happen. So the hidden influence that's kind of driving this, again, it was timely. It was time to start pursuing some justice. So very cool on that. Now, your advice again here, remember those of us in the United States that are having some financial hardships. Because your advice is, within your means, be generous, okay? Don't overdo it. Be careful with your funds, your what have you. But this is a good time for you to, if you've been thinking of doing something nice for someone else, whether it's dropping off a couple of kids' coats that you found at a thrift shop in good condition at a school so they could give it to a needy child, or making a meal for a neighbor, or just thanking a shop worker for showing up and having a smile on their face, whatever it might be. This is a month to extend some generosity towards others without an eye to receiving back. The Hermit is showing up here. Now, this is kind of cool because as far as advice goes, now he's a very wise energy. And what's he shining a light on? He's shining a light, well, on the whole previous cards, but especially this one about with the advice of, keep your balance, don't go overboard here, but be generous to others to the extent that you are able. And the universe is going to notice that. Okay, absolutely. Also, if this justice ends up being a bigger event, there may be a need for some processing time. Again, that's when it's good to be generous to others, maybe the normies that get jolted awake finally, or have to face some unpleasant truths or what have you. But this is, if you need some time to process big changes, take it and be gentle with yourself in that process. So that's what I'm getting for elsewhere, beyond the shores of the United States of America. Now, let's do the final advice card, which is keep your focus on. For the United States, we need to keep our focus on, we've got the 8 of Swords showing up, okay? Or keep our focus on for elsewhere is the Death card, okay? So what the Death card is almost always about something other than death. Keep your focus on changes. Notice these small, slow, incremental steps towards justice, change, that kind of thing. So that's what you're getting. Don't have your expectations so high that you can't celebrate and enjoy the smaller changes that you see coming about. The moves towards justice, the case that's won because someone stood their ground on common law. Celebrate those, know those, notice those, be ready to notice those smaller changes. And I think that's really good advice. Now, the 8 of Swords, pardon me, for the United States, just telling us again, we're kind of in a holding pattern in October. Okay, there's some events that are going to happen that are going to involve justice, contracts, what have you. But we just need to understand, at least at the start of the month, that things are kind of on hold a little bit. Again, whether it's those big decisions that maybe aren't public yet or something like that. But yeah, so be prepared to be in a holding pattern. Don't be prepared to be disappointed, okay? So I'm not claiming huge, huge events here. What I'm saying is stand your ground, okay? Keep your focus where it should be. Follow those dreams a little bit. So this is a good time for that. And just understand that there are good changes that are coming. It's just that they're not going to happen at the 1st of October. And I hope that things change towards the end of it, but we'll just have to wait and see. In the meantime, we know to be cautious with our money, but not cautious with our dreams, and pursuing making some of those dreams become reality, especially those dreams which are not based on spending, other than time and energy and visualization. So let's recap. We were looking at a peek ahead at the month of October 2024, and with an eye towards the United States of America and then elsewhere on this plane of existence, our realm. And the United States is going to be having some financial difficulties, and I'm talking about we, the regular people. I didn't get any kind of information. The fiscal year for the United States government ends or begins on October 1st. I just felt like for us, we just need to understand that there's still the death throes of the fiat money system going on, and we are still going to be in the grip of inflation and not a lot of change. So be careful with our resources. But there is good change in the offing. So, and there's a desire to enact that change, but there's just, we have to have a certain number of events happen to kind of ready the stage for those changes. We've talked about that before. The Empress was showed up, and she was talking about following your dreams. So again, if you've been mulling over putting a political sign in your yard, or being public that you endorse a candidate or do not endorse one, this might be a good time to speak up. If you've been thinking about cracking open that book and learning something, whatever that subject might be a good time to do that for the United States. Now, for elsewhere, the Justice card showed up for what to expect. You are going to see some progress in the realm of justice elsewhere on the planet, and I felt like nudge-wise, for me, intuitive nudges that we were looking at the UK, but it could be elsewhere besides that. And that those, again, the advice for the elsewhere was that understand there's a slow change process that is going on. You had advice to be as generous as possible within your means to others, whether it's gifting them with your smile, or patience when service is slow, or thanking someone that's doing a thankless job, whatever it might be, or cooking something for a neighbor, whatever it might be. You're advised to try to be generous in this coming month as you're able. And again, generosity does not have to involve money. It can involve effort, prayer, intention, time, kindness, patience, whatever it might be. Because we are in an era here where people are kind of on edge. Can you feel it? I feel it. they tend to snap a little easier and lose their patience. So if we gift them with extra patience or extra kindness, or thank them for something. I thanked someone earlier this week for the way they had advised a child. I said, I love the way you gave that advice. Don't you think that was going to go a lot farther than if I had noticed another time when they were sharp-toned and said, you shouldn't speak to a child that way? No, they're going to keep trying to do what got them the praise. So it cost me nothing but to notice and then comment on it. So if you notice something good about someone, say something. What's the worst that can happen? They'll think you're a nut for, complimenting them on something that's minor and trivial. So I don't think any act of kindness is wasted ever. Now, that's it for this video. I thank you so much for your time and attention. I do have a brief afterward that has nothing to do with me talking about my silly dream last night or the tarot cards. If you'd like to stay around for that, you're welcome to do so. And until next time, I send you love, light, and everything bright. If you'd like to receive it, it's yours. Bright outcomes. That's what we want. Okay, now for the advice. I shared something on my X account, Laura's View in Tarot 2 today, that it was from Hilarion, and not from her directly. She was reposting it also. But someone asked ChatGPT, how would you go about breaking the matrix if that was, if you wanted to do that? And I really think it basically the advice was to focus in on those deja vu moments, synchronicities, and glitches in the matrix that we talk about. Notice them, talk about them, share them, don't discount them. And you can watch it. It's just 2 or 3 minutes. I think it's really excellent. And I think it's great advice, even though, AI advice, never saw myself saying to listen to an AI, but I think it was really good because we want to break a lot of shackles and take the human race someplace it needs to go and has been prevented from being, and have some really positive and wonderful changes happen to the world around us. So if it can be as simple as noticing, commenting on, and sharing with others, synchronicities, glitches, things like that, how easy is that to do? So easy. So let's give it a shot. Can't hurt, right? Okay, final time. If you want to receive it, it's yours. Love, light, and everything bright. Bye.